Okay.
Bad joke. Never mind.
All right. I guess I will start reading the poem, huh?
Hmm.
Okay. So let me start. So this is just to say, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. And the question is, what words seem especially important and why?
One word that I thought was important, that probably not, but it's where shows up in every group. So for some reason I thought this was, and because it says I and you, I thought it was about, it's like he's talking about a relationship, um, but he's not like really talking about the relationship, but he's talking about a relationship that will probably be bad because it's like a lot of past tense kind of stuff. Like, the whole thing is in the past, and I don't know. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, so as for me, what I think is important is when he uses the word forgive.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like a big deal, especially in a relationship. You know? Like you don't want to break up if you like the girl or if you love her. You want to try uh, to keep her as long as you can. And so anytime you will do something wrong, you will always keep no, you will always say sorry. No, I do that. I say sorry to my wife. And to me, like saying forgive me, that shows humility from his part. It shows repentance. He he's confessing in the whole poem. He's confessing the wrong and asking for forgiveness, and he's trying to fix it. So yeah, that's my thought.
Uh, yeah, that's a really good idea. I like both your ideas. Um, I also wrote the same thought, like how in the first question, when we had to paraphrase, I also like had the same idea. Like it was like between the like two spouse, like between spouse, a husband and a wife. I also felt like let me just check in the question. The words that stood out for me was in the first few sentences where it says the and that and the, like, because it kept on repeating the th. I feel like maybe there's a meaning behind that. I don't know. That's what stood out for me. And yeah, and you know how when we had to paraphrase, I felt like he knew that his wife was keeping the plums, but then he just ate them anyway, just so he would. And then he wrote an apologetic note later. I feel like maybe because she kept on bragging about the plums, and then he just ate them just to spite her. And yeah, it's hard to put into words. Like it's easy to write it down than to say the
Mhm.
thing like out in English, because I don't know how to put it in proper English. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let me read the second question. All right. How is the arrangement of the words important? I
This might
think
have nothing to do with it, but if you say icebox and then and which together, you get a sandwich. Like you say sandwich. That might have nothing to do with this thing, but I found that like truly remarkable in reading it. But but back to the point in the question. So on the first stanza, I is in the first line. on the second stanza, you is in the second line, and that's what I noticed about the arrangement. Um, and because that, I yeah, it just seems like it tells you a lot about him in the first, or like whoever the first guy is in the first part, because it's talking about he's somebody who eats someone else's palms. He just acts on impulse and he just does it. And then the second stanza kind of talks about, I don't know if it's a spouse or whoever the other person is, but that person is like someone who prepares for the future because they save stuff and they and then it's the third one is what they had together was like was something that was good, and part of what made it good was that it was cold, and the only thing that made it cold was how different they were, because he acts on impulse, and the other person um like thinks ahead, and that's why it wouldn't work. But so forgive me for it, but it was good while it lasted. It was very sweet, but it was very cold, and it was cold. That's what I thought.
I like that part. And as for me, like I will say to add on what you said, like the last line of each stanzas, right? Like the first one is it says the icebox, and to me it's related to the last line of the second stanza. The icebox. So what is in the icebox was for breakfast, and then the last line of the last stanza, right? And so it makes you think of cold. So those three things are related or connected, and it has a deep meaning why that's like those three things were meant to be the last lines of each stanzas. And also another point that I want to mention is like what stood out to me is that there's no punctuations. Like, there's no dot,
Oh yeah.
no comma, no semicolon, like nothing. And I was like, why doesn't it start with, I don't know, parentheses, or why doesn't it end with dot and a period? Like, does it mean that the problem was not yet solved? So is the woman not able to forgive him? So the writer, William Carlos Williams, still feels guilty about it, and he knows that his wife is still upset, mad about that, and so there's no period. It's still going on. I don't know.
Well, that makes me want to read it different.
Uh, Thank you. Um, what was the question again? Sorry. How is the arrangement of the words important? Is that the question?
Yes.
So I don't actually know how to like analyze poems and stuff. I suck at analyzing poems, so I'm gonna just like say that back in high school when we used to like analyze poems, they were like structured, and they were really long poems, but for this poem it was really short, and it was simple and clear to understand, and like that he ate the plums, and then he's just writing an apologetic note to his to whoever yeah. And yeah, that's all I can say. It was easy and clear to understand, and it was a very short and simple poem and well structured. That's all.
Vinaka.
Naka.
All right. Then question: what issues does the poem discuss, and what does it say about those issues? Should I read again?
No, no, no. So the first issue I had with the poem was it doesn't even sound that poetic. Cause I also suck at like looking at poems, and the first like 7 times I read this, I was like, this is stupid. This is not the coolest thing. in the world. Like I don't know how this guy got famous, um, but just because everyone respects it, we like looked into it until we found something good.
Yeah.
And so besides that issue, um, I guess one of the issues is the plums. I feel like that he's trying to talk about that relationship. Um, that like he's trying to talk about him and other people and why they never work out. And I do this sometimes too. If I'm trying to talk about something as deep as that, I'll try to talk about something very shallow first. Like if like I'll talk about Batman if it has something to do with like me and my brother and we have drama, then I'll bring up Batman. And I do that subconsciously and I don't know why. Or I broke up with this girl on and we were sitting on pillars and I brought up pillars at the time. So I think one of the issues is like how no one wants to talk about or directly talk about what is on their mind. So they like shove it off onto smaller subjects like the plums. Because if it is about a divorce or breakup, it would seem like whoa, you made a big deal out of plums. I was just talking about plums, and it gives us like some wiggle room because the issue is we're all afraid to actually talk about what needs to be talked about. That was mine.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm taking notes just so that I remember.
Oh, it's gonna be on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
You can watch it over and over and over.
Yeah, I'm saving time, right? Yeah. So what issues does the poem discuss, and what does it say about the issues, about those issues? Yeah. So at first, when I read it, yeah, I first understood it literally that he just maybe he was hungry or he was craving for those plums, so he ate them, and he knew that it was supposed to be his wife or his girlfriend breakfast. So he turned to me and asked for forgiveness. Yeah. And then when I tried to apply this to me, I kind of said it right. Yeah, when I apply this to my relationship with my wife, uh, yeah, sometimes it is hard. Yeah, just like you said, Tevita, it's hard to say things. It's hard to talk about problems, to share things that you're not feeling comfortable with. And sometimes we try to use analogies to talk about the problem. Um, and so for my wife and I, there's a big issue. It's the language barrier. She's from South Korea, and her English, she's really proficient in writing and reading, analyzing, understanding texts. But when it comes to live conversation, I learned my English by speaking on my mission a lot. Yeah, and so so it causes problems sometimes when we have conversations. And sometimes I'll use analogy. I mean, a lot. I use a lot of analogy to explain something, to share my joy, my sadness, and sometimes he just uh, doesn't get everything I'm saying because I'm not saying it like the way I should. And so as a man, it's hard sometimes to express yourself to your wife, and I think this man also is having a hard time to really say what he did wrong. But that's what I can say.
Thank you. So what issues does the poem discuss and what does it say about those issues? So the issue that I saw in the poem was him eating the plum or whoever it is, um, that he ate the plum and um, and he found it delicious and it was sweet. Um, but then I think he felt guilty later, and so he wrote a note to his wife or to whoever. Um, delicious, so sweet and so cold. And that's all I can say. I don't know. I suck at analyzing stuff. Sorry.
Stop saying that, man. You don't suck. Sound like that.
You don't suck. You were.
Best YouTube video ever.
Oh yeah, man.
Whew, it's
Yeah,
getting hot in here.
It's the only issue that I could find out.
Yes.
He ate the plum and then he felt guilty, and so he wrote a note to her.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. So at some point, choose an issue that you think is especially important. Oh, maybe I should have read that earlier. Anyway, decide what the poem has to say about that issue, and find quotes from the poem that help you decide what the poem has to say about that issue. Okay, I think we are done, huh?
Is that what the poem is saying?
Explain why those quotes are important. We already did that, right?
What the poem has to say about that issue.
Kind of. I wanted to talk about what you said when you were looking at the last line of each one.
Yeah.
And what it made me think of is like I was like, man, why is breakfast in there? That's kind of weird. But I like how it's breakfast because like it shows that this is the end of whatever this was, and you're probably saving it for the start of whatever comes next. But I ruined that for you. Forgive me. And then when you said that there's no like punctuation, so the only actual like capitalized letter in there, because I's are always capital, is the forgive me. So that's probably gonna make
That must
it.
be very important also.
But yeah, what is I think Yannick should tell us what the paper is gonna be about. Just the issue that she chooses. We'll just make it work. If can, Yannick.
Yeah, sorry, wait, just a second. Yeah, come again, sorry.
No, it's like so. Like, do you just for the sake of like, because we're answering the questions right now, just reiterate what is the issue the main issue that you think this addresses? Because that's what we'll probably write the essay on. That's what I'm gonna write the essay on is whatever you say now. No pressure.
The main issue? He ate the plum.
Right there. Beautiful.
Wait, what do you think? Manu,
No, I
how
think
about you?
I think
Is
you
that
just
right?
said you ate the
He ate
plums.
the plum?
So
He
what
ate
it
it?
is that the issue is at the very beginning, because that's the first words. I have eaten the plums.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. And then it ends with a solution. Will you forgive me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can put it that way. Good point, Yannick.
You don't suck.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all?
It's so short. I feel like every word is going to be quoted just because it's so short, and we need a page and a half. So I'm gonna quote like everything, like ooh, what a good word. Have.
I think you can double space it.
Oh, okay, good. I'm gonna double space it and like have a really small column at the beginning. I don't know. It's gonna be a great paper, guys. This is good stuff. Is that the last question? I'm all acting like that's the last question.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the last question.
yeah. That's why I said we are done.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
And
enjoy your Friday night. Still broadcasting. Are we are we done? I'm
yes,
gonna
Are we
press this
done?
button.
I'm set.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.